Every Sunday, Jess will have the television set up for you. It'll look like this, and it has the two worship songs and the video for the so and so show, which is the lesson of the day. Now, um, you need to simply get the keyboard for the computer. Make sure that the switch is green in the on position. If it's in red, then you should turn it to green. And then you just work it very simply on the trackpad and click on the top song, and the music will come up and it'll begin to play with the words. Nice, right? Let's be real clear about worship with this age kids. Some of them are already self-conscious and do not want to sing. They don't like the sound of their own voice, and that has to be okay. Also, the point is worship. The point is not singing. Singing is just to help the kids get more able to feel the presence of God. And so there are other things that you can do that can help them to do that, but you've got to tell them what's acceptable and what's not. So you could say, guys, if you just want to sit in the chair and close your eyes and listen, that's fine. If you feel like drawing on a piece of paper in your chair, if that helps you to feel closer to God as you listen to the words, that's okay too. If you want to stand, if you want to sing out loud, if you want to clap your hands, if you feel like you want to raise your hands up just to reach out to God, then that's okay too. We want them to connect. And so a really good way of doing that is when the song is finished and you just move the cursor around. You can pause it at any time, you can end it, you can do all of those things just like you do on your own computers. When it's done, it's good to let the kids know that you're going to take some time for silence. And if anybody wants to, this corner here where the cursor is, that's how you get back to the screen beforehand. And so you can always control the songs. It's important to give the kids a chance to interact with the Holy Spirit. And so a good way of doing that is letting them know up front, when the song is over, we're just going to be quiet for a minute. And if anybody has something you want to say out loud, maybe it's a prayer, maybe it's something that you're feeling inside, maybe you think that God is showing you something, a picture, a kind of a vision in your mind's eye, in your imagination, that it really might be something for everybody to benefit from, and go ahead and say that. And so they're familiar with this. If they've been in Vineyard Kids at all coming up through, they do this all the time. For newer kids, never push, never insist, never embarrass, but they'll kind of catch what's going on. It's just important. We can't make things happen, but we can provide the opportunity, we can provide the space for God to interact with them and them to interact in a personal way with Him through the Holy Spirit, which that's what worship is, right? Okay. So finish your worship time, and then it'll be time for the so-and-so show. Click on that, and just to give you a little glimpse, it's really high quality, well done. There's always some humor involved, and then some
Won't you come see?
and then some discussion questions. Okay, once that's finished, then typically we like to go back to the table and have a discussion. Now, it's okay if you do it at the chairs right after worship. That doesn't matter, that's fine. And the important thing is to make sure that the kids participate as much as they're comfortable with. So we'll typically come back to the table. We'll have the discussion questions, which are always provided for you in advance. If the discussion goes off in a little bit different direction, that's okay too. The goal is not to answer all the questions. The goal is for them to talk, for them to interact, for them to think about what they've just seen or what's on their mind. Okay. Always leave time at the end for personal prayer where they can pray for each other. These kids know how to do that. They've learned it. They've been trained in it. They've come up through Vineyard Kids. They know how to do that. Some of the newer ones, might be more shy and completely unaware of what we're talking about. Of course, never make anybody pray out loud, but you'll get to know the kids that have been around a long time, that maybe are more comfortable with this. So let them be models and leaders in a way for the rest of the kids. And that's pretty much the morning. Of course, the parents will come and check the kids back out. They'll go back home. But I would say that we're not done when Vineyard Kids is over for that particular Sunday. It's important for us to pray for the children regularly, for us to think about them and be prepared on Sundays. I really do believe that we can absolutely not just change the future for these individual kids, but I think that by loving them, listening to them, giving them the tools that they need as they go into a very un-Christian week, that they'll have influence with others, that they'll be able to give comfort and guidance to friends and strangers, and they'll be the peacemakers in their schools. And that's incredibly important. And so are you. This could not happen without you. And this is going on your eternal, permanent record. This goes on your heavenly resume. Jesus made it a big point to emphasize ministry to children. And he had to scold his disciples more than once because they didn't think it was all that important. But he did. And if the God of the universe thinks that ministry to children is extremely important, well, I'm just really glad that you do too. So let's give it our best. You can always contact me. You can always call me or see me in person with questions or anything that's on your mind or you're unsure of. And I'm not the only one. I just happen to be the coach of this club. Of course, you can talk to Jess, my wife Jean, she's always around as well. There are plenty of people that you can get support and help from. And if anything doesn't feel right, if you're just feeling overwhelmed or just something, please talk to us before it gets to be overwhelming, before it makes you feel like, I just got to quit, I can't go back. Because you're very, very important, not just for doing this, but your heart is important. We love you. We're grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a volunteer in Club Omega.